Afternoon. This is the July 30th, 2024 regular meeting of the Santa Barbara City Council. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Well, that's the best one I've heard all year. That was pretty good. All right, very good. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Certainly. Councilmember Harmon. Here. Councilmember Oscar Gutierrez.
Present.
Councilmember Frieden.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Jordan.
Here.
Councilmember Sden.
Here.
Councilmember Alejandro Gutierrez.
Here.
And Mayor Rouse.
Here. And you have a ceremonial item to read?
Item 1, Old Spanish Days Week, July 31st through August 4th, 2024.
Is the El Presidente here? I saw him out there earlier. Ah, there we go. Hiding again. Old Spanish Days Week, July 31st through August 4th, 2024. Whereas this year marks the milestone 100th anniversary of Old Spanish Days Fiesta in Santa Barbara, an event created in 1924 by the Old Spanish Days Committee with support from the city of Santa Barbara to attract summer visitors to the area and to celebrate the reopening of the Libero Theater. And whereas envisioned as an homage to local history, the event harkens back to Old Spanish Days by celebrating elements of Spanish, Mexican, and Chumash cultures that are integral to the very fabric of our community. And whereas, although much has changed since the original fiesta of 1924, many of the same festivities still take place today, including parades, a rodeo, educational and historical events, and impressive cultural music and dance performances. And whereas the founders hoped that the event would draw visitors to Santa Barbara, and so it has, such that today Old Spanish Days attracts tens of thousands of visitors annually, infusing the area with excited crowds who bolster the local economy by supporting area businesses, charities, and social services during this spectacular 5-day celebration of culture, arts, history, and community. Now, therefore, I, Randy Rouse, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of the city of Santa Barbara, do hereby proclaim July 31st through August 4th, 2024, as Old Spanish Days Fiesta Week in Santa Barbara. I thank the current and past presidents for their community service and recognize the dedication of all board members, volunteers, and Fiesta participants, past and present, who have kept this local tradition alive and thriving for 100 years. Finally, I wish all community members, performers, organizers, participants, and visitors a safe and happy celebration of the century-old Santa Barbara event. Viva la Fiesta. And, Mr. President, would you like to come up and say a word or two?
Thank you, Mayor Rouse. Again, thank you, Mayor Rouse. Thank you to the entire council. It's a special time in our community. It's our 100th anniversary of this celebration. And we all know that Santa Barbara is a beautiful place to live. And what really makes, I think, this celebration special, and as Randy mentioned, it's evolved over the last 100 years. But what it really does show is not necessarily where we are or what we are, but who we are. And I think that's the underlying spirit that's allowed this celebration to continue for 100 years. And I'm heartened and I'm confident that it'll last another 100 years. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the city, particularly city staff. We know at Old Spanish Days just how big this event really is. And I might forget some divisions, and I apologize, but I'd like to particularly thank Parks and Rec, Public Works, Police, Fire, and Harbor Patrol, of course, Airport, Planning, Maintenance. Again, if I miss any departments, I apologize, but we know it takes the entire city to pull this off. In fact, coming down from Mission Canyon today to this meeting, driving past the Mission steps, seeing the hundreds of dancers already in dress and makeup, getting ready for tomorrow. They're spending all day down there. They're spending all day at our courthouse. There's a buzz in the air for this 100th anniversary, and it should be truly memorable. So on behalf of our entire organization, thank you to the city. Thank you to all the city staff. This is something we all know we take a lot of pride in, and I hope you guys have a great fiesta, and Viva El Centenario. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. And with that, I'm going to ask our guests from Toba, do you remember what we learned earlier today? You ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
Mayor, if I may, we do have a few gifts we'd like to give you, Council.
Would you please come forward and, Madam Clerk, would you go ahead and let the guests in the gate, please? This is the only time of year we ever do this, by the way.
Thank you. Good luck, mister.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mike and I always share, it's all right. It's a thing.
No, I want the white ones.
All right, thank you very much. And thank you to our fiesteros. And with that, I'd like to invite Linda and Leland to speak on behalf of the Toba Sister Cities program, please. Along with our student ambassadors, if you'd like to come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. I'm Linda Matthews, president of Santa Barbara, Toba, Japan, Sister Cities. And behind me, you will see the result of 28 years of student exchange. This is our 28th exchange this year for Toba students, for Santa Barbara students, and the families of the students who are seated back there. It's a family-to-family exchange that we're very happy to have been able to do all these many years. This year is the 70th year of incorporation of our sister city. So later this year, we'll have a delegation visit going over, and we hope there may be some among you attending. So it's a really celebratory year. We have these big anniversaries. So now I want to just introduce our representative student who will say a few words, and then our visitors will introduce themselves and say how old they are. So Leland Reardon is going to speak on behalf of all of our students.
Mr. Reardon.
Hello, Randy. I need to adjust this a little bit. I am proud to be one of the 4 people from Santa Barbara to be a student representative from America to Toba. And I am hosting one of our students, and I hope he will come up and now introduce himself. Hi. And how old are you and your name?
Okay. Hello, I'm Ichigo Miyamoto. I'm 15 years. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm Maverick McLaughlin, and I'm 14 years old. Yo.
All right, very good.
My name is Takuya Hashizume, 13 years old.
Very good, thank you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Brooklyn Gregg, and I'm 14 years old.
I'm Uda Miyamoto, 14 years old.
Thank you.
I'm Cassia Shrive Hamilton, and I'm also 14.
Thank you.
I'm Emma Iwasaki. I'm 13 years old.
Thank you.
And a group this young, of course, couldn't be traveling without chaperones. So we want to acknowledge our chaperones. We have one from Toba, who's busy with his camera. Shige-san. Shige-san is our Japanese, and Angelica back here in the back is our Santa Barbara chaperone. And this is a family-to-family exchange, so the chaperones will host each other, and the kids' families will host each other on both sides. So we're looking forward to a successful time, and while they do have the fiesta going on here, once they get over to Toba, there's another festival, the Obon Festival. So the kids, as you can see, dressed up, will be in various attire for the whole time of the exchange. Very celebratory time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Madam Administrator, are there any changes to the agenda?
No changes, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, very good. Madam Clerk, you have some consent items to read?
Yes, item 2, proposed assignment of lease agreement number 25399 Breakwater Restaurant located at 107 Harbor Way, ordinance adoption agreement. Recommendation the council adopt by reading of title only, an ordinance of the council of the city of Santa Barbara authorizing the waterfront director to execute the assignment of lease agreement number 25399 from Stephen and Sharon DeDecker doing business as Breakwater Restaurant to Breakwater LLC located at 107 Harbor Way, commencing upon the effective date of the enabling ordinance. Item 3, lease agreement with Santa Barbara Harbor Restaurant, Inc., DBA with the Harbor Restaurant located at 210 Stearns Wharf, ordinance adoption agreement. Recommendation the council adopt by reading of title only, an ordinance of the council of the city of Santa Barbara approving and authorizing the waterfront director to execute the agreement to lease number 20493 with Santa Barbara Harbor Restaurant, Inc., deferring 6 months base rent with lease terms ending December 31st, 2028, commencing upon the effective date of the enabling ordinance. Item 4, freeway maintenance agreement with Caltrans and memorandum of understanding with Santa Barbara County Association of Governments, resolution agreement. Recommendation that council C adopt by reading of title only, a resolution of the council of the city of Santa Barbara amending resolution number 24066, adopting the budget for fiscal year 2025 to increase revenue appropriations in the streets operating fund from a Santa Barbara County Association of Governments contribution for future maintenance of the Olive Mill Roundabout project. And that's all the items to read, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. Does anyone on council have any items to pull for discussion? Okay, are there any speakers online for the consent calendar?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, very good. With that, I will entertain a motion.
So move the consent.
Second.
Moved by Friedman, second by Oscar Gutierrez. May we have the vote, please?
Very good. This is a motion by Councilmember Friedman, seconded by Councilmember Oscar Gutierrez for the entirety of the consent calendar. Please go ahead and vote.
Thank you. Passes unanimously. With that, I will ask if there's any general public comment online, or there's none present, so any general?
No online, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Okay, with that, we'll go to council committee assignment reports. Mr. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also want to acknowledge that this is the 100th anniversary of the City Hall being built the way that it is today.
Really?
And I just want to ask city staff and my colleagues if we want to celebrate that in some way or manner in this centennial year. So I'm just throwing it out there that, this building's been here for 100 years, and I feel like it should be recognized.
Wonder why my office looked like that. Okay, very good. Mr. Friedman.
I fully support that. I think it's a great idea, and thank you for raising it, Councilmember Gutierrez. Just real briefly, attended the Parma Park ribbon cutting for the trails up there. It's amazing all the work that was done, and I know some of my colleagues were there, Councilmember Sneddon and Mayor Rouse, and it's a treasure that we have up there. And then also the El Presidente's dinner for the 100th anniversary kickoff of Fiesta was well done. And then one item, attended the Central Coast Water Authority monthly meeting, and an issue that is going on is that in order to store water in Lake Kachuma, we have it's called the Warrant contract, and it is it expired, and we had a temporary one, and we have another temporary one coming up, and there are some issues with the Bureau, but other than that, we hope to get them resolved before September so we can continue to have the availability of water for the State Water Project, but that is a major issue going on right now.
Very good. Ms. Sneddon.
Thank you, Mayor Rouse. Attended a Joint Cities County Affordable Housing Task Group, and there was a presentation there on 3CE, the county's program. Attended the ribbon cutting at Parma Park. Really, really happy to see that open again. Also a suicide by firearm prevention program ribbon cutting with Councilmember Oscar Gutierrez as well at Casa de la Raza, attended the Recepción de la Presidente. We've had a few housing crisis ad hoc meetings, Dem Women event, and then the Kachuma Operations and Management Board Tree Committee meeting. We're rounding those up. When the dam was built, there was a requirement to replace the trees that were waterlogged out, and the Kachuma board is well above the number that was required of oak trees. So that's a successful program.
All right, very good. This past Thursday, I traveled to Rosemead for Settling California's Edison's Community Forum, and they are talking about future plans, future needs for electrical production and transmission, and are looking for whatever ways to engage with local agencies like ours. So it was actually a pretty productive thing, even though it was in fact in Rosemead. And then I went to the Los Niños de las Flores Saturday at Stowe Park, and that was pretty darn cute. So I have to say that there's a lot of great kids whose families have dedicated a whole bunch of their time to make sure the fiesta goes off. And it's, you have a few kids, don't you, Ms. Harmon? You could probably be doing that one of these days. Very good. Okay, and with that, we have any other council or staff communications? And is there anybody that, I think that's about it, actually. We're going to adjourn at 2:22. I'd like you to make a note of that, please. Viva la fiesta. We will be reconvening. Let's see, we come back on when? We're off?
6.
August what?
6.
August
20th?
20th.
Okay.
30th.
You guys have a great fiesta. We'll see you all then.